G'day all, welcome back to the channel. We're back on the internet together again today. We're talking about machete bins. Apparently they're working. It's been a very busy weekend here in Melbourne, Victoria. Plenty of machete action. Let's get into it.
Good evening. Another teenager has been injured in Melbourne's Machete crisis, ambushed outside a rugby league tournament in Broadmeadows. The same tournament was crashed by machete-wielding thugs on Friday night. Mark Santomartino has the latest.
Panic on the streets of Broadmeadows as a car races toward Melbourne's latest machete attack, where a 19-year-old was stabbed outside the same rugby league tournament, tormented by masked men with a machete on Friday night.
Look at this shit. Yeah, the bins are working. Look at the country we're living in now. You got people running around with balaclavas and ski masks on with machetes in crowded places. There's no fear of being caught in any way. Couldn't give a stuff.
I saw one brave man that took off his shirt and then applied on his, the victim's leg. It looks like, the one of the spectator,
Police suspect, but won't confirm, that last night's stabbing and Friday night's incidents are linked. The Harmony Cup is a 3-day tournament that's supposed to celebrate culture and diversity. Today, officers...
Yeah, well, culture and diversity in Melbourne is people stabbing each other and hitting each other with machetes. Week in, week out, day in, day out, we see these articles, these news reports every single day. Good old multiculturalism at its finest.
Kept watch from afar at Seabrook Reserve as detectives tried getting the injured 19-year-old to talk.
At this time, he's been uncooperative. Uncooperative? Uncooperative, yes.
10 metres from one of Victoria's machete bins, police insist the government's ban is working.
Over the past 12 months, 13,000 each weapons have been seized, which equates to about 47 per day.
Jacinta Allen can't continue to say it's safe here in Victoria when we're seeing people getting stabbed in the streets.
In public, in broad view of the general public. This isn't stuff, this isn't some gang fight happening in some car park somewhere, some industrial area where they're turning up and attacking each other. They're literally doing this in shopping centres. You get now at sporting events where hundreds of people are with kids, and it's just an absolute joke. Yeah, the machete bins are working apparently. Okay. And I'll talk about this a bit later, who's putting the machetes in the bin, but it ain't these criminals.
Teenagers were allegedly stabbed in a separate brawl at Broadmeadows train station this week. Earlier this month, thugs were filmed swinging machetes at each other inside the local shopping centre. The state's machete amnesty ends on November 30.
And when it's over, the toughest penalties are in place for anyone found carrying one of these dangerous weapons.
Police don't know how many...
This is an amnesty. Why don't you just fucking have it right now? Day one, day dot. Oh, well, we're going to give you to the 30th of October. And then if you're caught with a machete after the 30th of October, you're in big shit. Well, as I said, let's talk about who's putting these machetes in the bins. It's not these gang members, criminals, teenagers running around, young men running around with these machetes. They're not putting them in the bins. It's grandma and grandpa who are scared that ASIO is going to turn up on their doorstep, shitting a brick. They think a bloody SWAT team's going to come over their house with they're rappelling down out of the helicopter because they've got a machete in the shed, a rusty old machete. They're the ones. They're the people putting them in the bins. The ones who follow the rules. Not the ones who are using them as bladed weapons, using them to fight. Now, it's working, guys. Yeah, it's working. But hey, I've got 3 more videos today talking about this. 3 more. It wasn't just one.
Many offenders they're looking for and don't have a description of the vehicle they allegedly fled in. They say there were hundreds of people leaving the Harmony Cup at the time of the stabbing, and witnesses have told us that people fled on foot and in vehicles in multiple directions.
We encourage anyone that may have witnessed the event or have dash cam or CCTV footage of the incident to contact Crime Stoppers.
Of course, it's scary, so it could happen to me, it could happen to my children.
Mark Santomartino, 9 News.
Welcome to Melbourne. All right. We've got another one here. Very interesting story. I'm not going to ruin it. Let's watch it together.
Good evening. 2 thieves armed with a knife have attacked a man and escaped with thousands of dollars in cash during a frightening daylight robbery in the northern suburbs.
A mother and her young disabled children were home at the time and say they were targeted.
Now this one here isn't based in Melbourne to my understanding. But still, this is a widespread thing happening all over the country. It's just bananas.
After a big win on the pokies.
Big win.
2 hooded suspects on a violent mission, marching into this Elizabeth Grove property.
It all happened so fast. Grabbed my backpack and as I tried to grab it off of him, he pulled a machete out on me.
Minutes later, using a weapon to attack a 51-year-old man.
I jumped up.
So Shazza and Bazza are copped it. But who are they telling that they've won 10 grand off the pokies? All over Facebook or something, or sending photos around it, and people know where they live and going to go and kick the door in and, hold them up for the cash. Something's not adding up here.
I went to stop him and he just straight off just chopped me.
Before running off with almost $10,000 in cash, won on the poker machines 2 days ago. And it wasn't just the adults in the house targeted, Deirdre's disabled children becoming collateral.
The little boy's got autism and they threw him to the ground to get past and so they're pretty well low life.
And there's just blood everywhere and my kids are terrified.
The man taken to the Lowell McEwen Hospital, with police arriving to the Blencow Street home just after 7:30 last night. On scene for hours as they collected evidence. Deirdre says she's doubtful she'll get the money back, describing it as life-changing, telling 9 News she would have used the cash to take her children on holiday.
I've never had that.
So you win. So I'm not going to try and hang shit on it, but let's just think about the thought process here. It's life-changing money, 10 grand. Like, she looks like a bit of a battler, down and outer. Not the brightest spark, right? She's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Let's just be real here from what we're saying. So what does she go and do? That 10 grand could really help her out. It'll probably be the most money she'll ever have in her bank account in her entire life. Let's go spend it on a holiday. Well, those thieves may as well have stolen it. You haven't put it to good use.
That amount of money before him.
But I guess if you're sitting at the pokies every day and plugging your money into that, she's probably put well more than 10 grand in.
My life, it could have changed my life.
Police investigations are continuing, but the young family is now living in fear.
You just destroyed my children's safety and really traumatised us all.
Gus McDonald, 9 News.
Imagine that, okay, she's not the sharpest tool in the shed and all that sort of stuff, but really, like, no one deserves their door kicked in.
What?
No one deserves their door kicked in, regardless. It's very interesting to see, like, how would they have known that she had $10,000? So she must have been bragging, telling people. There's probably people, a few degrees of separation, heard about it, they knew where she lived, they knew that it was an easy target, kick the door in. Take the 10 grand cash. Good one. All right, halfway. Consider subbing to the channel if you're new. Like, comment, and share to help boost the algorithm. And if you would like to and do have the hype points, press that hype button. You just right swipe on the comments section if you're on a mobile device, and there should be a button there, hype. That really helps me out. All right, let's keep going.
Moving on this morning, and pressure is ramping up yet again on the Victorian government as legal experts and also victims of crime slam Premier Jacinta Allen's self-proclaimed toughest bail laws in Australia.
Overnight, another stabbing attack, this time a 19-year-old in Broadmeadows who was slashed with a machete. For more, we're joined by Liberal opposition leader Brad Batten in Melbourne. Brad, thanks for your time this morning. The Premier has flagged more changes to strengthen bail laws. Has it taken too long?
I think the biggest challenge down here, Clinton Alley, is not just the fact it's taken so long, it's actually that the government weakened these laws and won't return them to the position they were in 2023. And since then, that's when we've seen the crime increase. And I know that you were talking about a stabbing last night. We've had 25 to 30 victims under the age of 25 who have died in the knife crisis here in Downy, Victoria. And the government continue to have their head in the sand and won't answer the real questions of fixing the bail system.
I've got a way to fix the bail system. You got people running around. You're an animal. You're an animal if you hit somebody with a weapon like that. I don't know how you could even. I couldn't even do that to my worst enemy, not that I have any enemies, someone who I would dislike, I wouldn't be able to hit them with a machete. That is just disgusting. And these people are just doing it easily. Not even thinking about it. It's just conflict resolution. Just, let's just lop someone's hand off or arm off or hit them in the head with it or whatever it is. Without really a thought to the consequences. You've got bail laws that are spitting these offenders back onto the market, right? Back into the society. You know what they should do? If you hit somebody with a machete, you should be put on a barge, a big boat, put everyone. It doesn't matter where you're from. I'm not being racist. White, black, green, blue. You fuck around and commit these serious crimes. You're on a barge. There's no food. There's no water. It just gets put out into Port Phillip Bay. Leave it out there for about a week. Let nature do its thing. And then we'll go get the barge, bring it back in for the next lot. That'll send a message.
Bringing in something like break bail, face jail, and ensuring we have violent offenders off the street.
Okay, so is it more than just a slogan? Break bail, face jail. I mean, this time next year, Victorians are going to the polls. And right now, you're the alternative premier. What would you do? How do you solve it?
Yeah, put them on a barge. Well, they go to jail and we got to pay for it. And they get 3 meals and a roof over their head for chopping someone's arm off. Nah, put them on the barge. I think everyone's sick and tired of it. Sick and tired of this shit, hearing it every single night of the week. I had someone ask me, gee man, when are you going to do some uplifting content? Do some uplifting content. I will when it's on the news. Because I'm not seeing any.
Yeah, that is one of the key points, is break bail, face jail. Those that commit violent offences shouldn't continue to get bail. We'll tighten the laws to make sure that the judges don't have the choice to give them bail, that they have to keep them on remand rather than back out into the community. The second part is to bring in Jack's Law, which I know that you've spoken a lot about on here in Queensland, and that's actually to take the knives off the street, give the police the powers and the wands. And thirdly, we must actually have money invested in keeping the next generation away from the prison system.
So I'd say just ban knives for no one. You can't even have a knife in your kitchen anymore. That'll be banned. Just deal with the criminals, not the instruments they're using. Oh, we're banning machetes now. Next it'll be steak knives. Then it'll be chef's knives. Then it'll be butter knives because they can be sharpened up and grinded down. Then it'll be spoons and forks. Like, what's next? Complete nanny state. What is ban shit? Is that how we deal with it?
We'll have a restart and youth start program to guide those away, the youth at risk, to give them the opportunities. And you can look at programs around the world, whether it's Scotland, Cheshire, over in Texas. Programs that have diverted the next generation away from crime is the best way to keep the community safe and give these kids opportunity.
Sorry, go. I was just going to say, Force Command, notably the Chief Commissioner in Mike Bush there, we spoke to him a few days ago on our radio show, and he's confident that the tide will turn. What will it take for the tide to turn? Do you not have faith in his leadership?
Yeah, I've got no problem with Mike Bush at all, but Mike Bush has to work exactly the same as the courts within the realms of what the government gives them. He's got over 1,100 vacancies on the roster. He can't just invent police. He needs funding to ensure they get there. We're seeing reports down in Victoria at the moment where Victoria police members have been told not to mow lawns because they've got no money within the police department. They can't change light bulbs in stations until 50% are gone. That's how broke the Victoria Police is.
There you go. And so where's that money going? What are we giving foreign aid to all these different countries and giving Centrelink to all the recent migrants, support packages, NDIS, but our police are underfunded and toothless. Awesome. I wouldn't want to be a cop. Completely neutered, you cannot make a difference. You got to be guided by Karens in the office who are watching your body cam and why'd you do this and why'd you do that and you can't do this and you can't chase people and you can't grab someone and throw them on the ground or you can't give them a quick fucking left-right good night if they're acting up and trying to attack you. Look, I've heard a lot of people are leaving, are resigning from the police force.
How can Mike Bush work within those parameters? So credit to him, because I think he honestly believes we can reduce crime.
Look at this shit. And those other dudes with the mask with something out of Scream, just coming up to the door. Look at this, hang on. Look at this. But there is a problem here. They can't just put your head in the sand and say there isn't one. I know I've been going on about this the last couple of videos, but I hate seeing Victoria like this. I hate seeing Melbourne like this. I'm from Melbourne. It sucks. I remember a time, there's always been crime here and gang and stuff, but you don't hear it every second night on the news or every night on the news. Some kid stabbed to death or arm hit with a bloody machete or some home invasion and carjackings. It's every day.
To him, because I think he honestly believes we can reduce crime, but we're seeing machete attacks, knife attacks, we're seeing aggravated burglaries. This week I spoke to the victims in Hawthorn and sat at their bench while they explained to me the aftermath of this and the impact on their kids.
Yep.
They're the ones we should be thinking about and ensuring violent offenders are off the street. That'd make Mike Bush's job a lot better if the government would fix that problem first.
Brad, do you feel safe in Victoria?
It depends where you go at the moment, but there's too often right at now. We saw it yesterday you spoke about Broadmeadows, but there was another incident in Broadmeadows where two offenders have gone through the Harmony Cup. This is the event designed by the NRL to bring people together, and two offenders have run through with machetes in a community event. This is becoming all too common. Innocent people have been stabbed on the streets. Two kids were killed on the way home from a basketball event. It is getting to a stage now that this is the only topic people are talking about, and that's a huge concern because then the perception becomes reality and people feel unsafe in their own community.
What do you mean this perception becomes reality? It's not a perception, mate. It is the reality. As I keep using that analogy, it's like Jaws, where the mayor and they're telling everyone to come to Amity Island and come and spend your tourist dollars. No, we're safe here. Nothing's going on here. Everything's working as intended. And you got, 10 metre sharks swimming around eating people. So we got the mayor, we've got Jacinta Allen, we've got the government coming out and saying things are fine. It's never been safer. The place is ranked higher than ever. What are you talking about? The bins are working. It's not what I'm seeing. It's not what I'm hearing.
So why is your message in particular not getting through? Because if you believe the polls, the Allen Labor government would be returned next November.
Polls go up and down, as we know, and I don't really talk
absolutely
about
they do, but clearly your message isn't resonating with the community.
I don't believe, because it is resonating with the community, because I go to events, whether it was with the AI industry, whether it was with other community groups, and every single person's talking about crime. We can tell you that people do appreciate the fact we're talking about break bail, face jail, because it is the biggest issue we have here in Victoria. So everywhere I go, whether it's on public transport, walking through the community, or Diwali events that I'm seeing again today and doing again today, I guarantee you the topic will be crime. People will want a change of government, and they're starting to listen to our message.
All right, Brad Batten, Opposition Leader in Victoria, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Good on you, Brad. Good on you, mate. All right, now we've got a Sky News here. I know some of you guys like Sky News, some of you hate it. I get a lot of rage, get a lot of angry comments and emails from some of you punters out there who don't like Sky News and want to know why I talk about it. It's good to look at all different news sources, but it looks like Jacinta Allen's copping it from all sides.
Changes in Melbourne. Another weekend, another machete attack, and right on cue, another press conference where Premier Jacinta Allen insists everything is just fine.
Yes, after a man was hacked at Broadmeadows last night by a gang of men with machetes, the Premier fronted cameras to declare that her machete ban was working.
Awesome.
We know that the ban on machetes and the handing in of machetes is working, because just through the machete bins alone, we've had more than 5,000 of these dangerous weapons handed in.
Yeah, that's grandma, that's grandpa. That's some gardeners. It's not these kids running around and in Broadmeadows and in the west and in the northern suburbs, south. It's happening everywhere. I just say Melbourne as a whole. Just because people who are not criminals are putting machetes in the bin, it doesn't mean they're working. Oh yeah, I'm going to line up in an orderly fashion with a machete bin that has CCTV around it, out the front of a police station. I'm going to line up and put my machete in if I'm someone who's used that for a crime. Yeah, what bright spark thought that would work? If someone was going to discard of a weapon, they go throw it in the beach somewhere in the water off the Westgate Bridge or something like that, where it's not going to be found. Not put it with fingerprints and shit all over it into a bin surrounded by CCTV. Oh, it's an amnesty. You know, you can stab someone up until the 31st of October. But we're going to crack down after that.
Working, tell that to the guy in hospital. If only the gang had remembered to drop off their machetes at one of Jacinta Allen's bins on their way to the stabbing. Have a listen to the way Jacinta Allen pretends the real villains are the weapons themselves rather than the lawless thugs wielding them.
Pull up more than 20,000 of these dangerous weapons that are deadly, that are causing so much grief and concern in our community. It's being taken off our streets.
Who's this one? Because you've been seeing her. Is she the next one? And she's Jacinta Allen 2.0. New and improved. You know, she's doing her training, her head nodding behind Jacinta, just like Jacinta used to do with Dan. She's going to come in. She takes it next step, feminazi. Look at that, with those glasses, Dame Edna glasses. Yep, let's just nod. Yeah, the weapons are dangerous. So we've got to ban those guys. We're going to ban knives, forks, spoons, anything that could be used, rolling pins, spatulas, everything's getting banned.
No, Premier, the machetes aren't causing grief. The people swinging them are. I mean, try banning criminals, though, I suppose, James, that would actually require locking some of them up instead of waving them back into the community, as is so often the case. And then it got truly bizarre. The Premier suggested machete attacks are new.
It is new offending that is causing, I acknowledge, huge concern in local communities. It is also causing great harm.
She talks to people and she talks to the public like they're stupid. Especially when she gets caught out, she goes around in circles. Nonsensical psychobabble responses. She talks to you like you're a 4-year-old. If her mouth's moving, most likely she's not telling you the truth.
And of course they are new if you've spent the last few years hiding under the desk at Spring Street. Meanwhile, the City of Melbourne's annual report says 3 out of 5 residents don't feel safe in the CBD after dark. But, Danica, they're just voters. What would they know?
No.
The CBD of Melbourne is safe, and I wish to reiterate that the Melbourne CBD is safe.
If machete attacks keep...
You got to be joking. I work in the city very regularly. I'm there multiple times a week. I'm there. I see it all. I would not hang out there myself after dark, walking around late at night, 10, 11, 12 o'clock, let alone a female or an elderly person or people just tourists. Are you going to get trouble every time? No, but there's a high risk you're going to get it than other places. Every time I go to Flinders Street, all right, I get the train from there. I see shit there every single time. There's someone screaming, carrying on, abusing the Transport Victoria ticket inspector people. Cops are there. It's actually a rare day when I don't see anything. There's always someone off their guts on drugs, screaming, carrying on, screaming at people, screaming at themselves, making noise, being disorderly, trying to get attention. Yeah, it's safe, guys. That's safety. Come and spend your money in the city.
Happening. How can you say the machete ban is working? I think I've figured out her strategy. The Premier of Victoria is into, the New Agers call it manifesting. And the idea is if you say something often enough, you can actually speak it into being. And I think that's her plan for reducing machete crime.
No, I disagree. I actually disagree with that.
Go on.
Manifesting is very, very different to that, James. Manifesting actually works. What Jacinta Allen is doing is clearly not working because...
Maybe she says it a bit more.
She just says it. I feel
How does manifesting work? Come on, Danica. I thought you were a bit more sensical than that.
with Jacinta Allen, it's one of those things. I feel like it's more the definition of insanity. You know, when you keep doing the same thing over and over again, it's not working. That's insanity.
Well,
and
it's
I feel
Victorian
like
voters.
That's Victorian voters. But what is this new lingo that she's using now? Now she's saying it is new offending that's causing harm. Well, what exactly is? It's like this new strategy making it seem like she's actually shocked at the very prospect that machetes are being used in the state. Like it's the very first time she's ever heard of a machete attack.
It's been going on here for 20 years and getting worse and worse.
Of course, she pulled a similar stunt after that violent protest the other weekend where she said this was a very different kind of protest, which, of course, it's not different from previous protests. So she's trying to act like this is a new problem that she's having to get on top of rather than something that's been existing for a long time. And, of course, there were 3 machete attacks in just 4 days over the weekend. Saturday night, Friday and Wednesday. So 3 in 4 days. For her to front the Victorian public and say the machete ban is working, what she really means is law-abiding Victorians are handing in their machetes, but that doesn't mean the ban is working because machete attacks are still happening. In actual fact, you could say the frequency over the last week at least has increased.
The other thing that bothered me on Thursday, she said, quote, "It is violent offending, it's brazen, occurring in spaces in ways we've not seen before, and it's increasingly being done by children." Well, offending by children in Victoria, James, is on the up since records began back in the 90s.
It is going through the roof. Why? Because these kids who have nothing better to do, looking for a purpose, looking to be clever, looking to one-up each other, or just bad eggs, going on a bad path in life, they don't have any fear. They know that they heard about some other kids that have gone and robbed a 7-Eleven or stolen a car and crashed it. They're going to get off. They're going to get a slap on the wrist because they're 13, 14, 15 years old. They're back out. They can keep doing it. So Grand Theft Auto spawning back at the hospital after you get caught, or at the police station. Out the front, you pay your little fine, which they don't pay, by the way, and off you go. And no, I'm not blaming video games. It's just an analogy. I've had a few people say, "Oh, you keep talking about Grand Theft Auto. The games aren't the problem." I know that. Take it too literally, dude.
And her government would know that. They would have all of the statistics, but what they're doing is refusing to acknowledge it. And that is the key issue here, is that Jacinta Allen still has actually not acknowledged that there is a crime crisis going on in her state. It's easy for her to trot out this new age lingo, as you called it. But I just think that this is it's a blight on Victorians, because this is meant to be the state with the toughest bail laws in the country. And this is what we're hearing time and time again. Now, that's one aspect, and obviously they're rendered useless if the justice system doesn't actually oblige with these laws. And we've seen a similar, the incident that happened at Luna Park, for example, over the last week. But the other problem is that the Premier has come out and said that she wants to toughen these bail laws, but members of her cabinet do not want to toughen the bail laws. So
why would you not like? I'm trying to understand why you would not want to have. Why would you not want to do that? I don't understand.
They are all driven and entrenched by a woke, progressive ideology.
The other thing is, how many times can you say we have the toughest bail laws in the country and we're going to make them tougher? Like, how tough can they be? The jig is up, though, right? Because the Melbourne City Council's Wellness and Health Survey, as we said, has found that 3 out of 5 Victorians don't feel safe in the CBD after dark. And interestingly, only 77%, and 77% is high, right? But only 77% said they feel safe in the Melbourne CBD during the day. For almost a quarter of Victorians to say we don't feel safe during the day in the city is quite astonishing.
Well, I think what we can summarise...
Yeah, but 77% do, so that's fine. There's nothing to see here. That is astonishing. It should be 95%. It should be 100%. We live in a first world country. What the fuck is going on here? All right, final story. This bloke was touching up the Australian women's cricket team players. So he just copped it. Pretty bad. This is how the police should act in Australia. This dude in India, he's just copped an absolute hiding. And this is what should be happening to the guys and girls who are committing these crimes on the barge, or get all your limbs broken then thrown on the barge.
Being branded India's national shame, and tonight there are new details on the man accused of harassing and inappropriately touching 2 members of Australia's women's cricket team. Local police parading him with a broken arm and leg.
Accused of stalking and molesting 2 Australian female cricketers, Akil Khan, hobbling on one leg. His arrest making news across India.
Now he's been left with a broken arm, as you can see, and even a broken leg.
The 2 Australian...
Good, they're not even, here they'd have him in a wheelchair and they'd be wheeling him around all nicely and have it all put up. They've broken the guy's leg and just said, fucking hop. Hop, you fucking scumbag. This is what you get. They've got a little chain around him, walking him around like a little dog while he's hopping on one leg with a broken arm as well.
Australians were walking from their hotel to a cafe when it's claimed they were followed by Khan on a motorbike before he stopped and touched them inappropriately. Police using CCTV to track him down.
In police custody, he must be trying to, flee. So he has been beaten up. Obviously, you can see his leg, you can see his hand.
Politicians have seized on the incident, blaming each other for the lack of law and order in the city of Indore in the country's central west. One minister calling the alleged attack a stain on the country's image. Another MP trying to reassure the accused has been caught and imprisoned, he said, adding, "We are trying to crush such criminals." Local police say they are examining if security needs to be upgraded. The incident has had no effect on the team's performance overnight, easily trouncing South Africa to...
There you go. There's a bit of news for you. I'll call that uplifting. The guy fucked around and he found out. Thanks for watching all. Hope you have a great day. And let's hope there's some good news tomorrow. I'd love to make a video for you guys that's a happy one. Cheers. Thanks for watching to the end.